Hi, welcome to my projectbazaar.com. I am going to explain the concept of techniques to minimize state transfer costs for dynamic execution offloading in mobile cloud computing. Mobile devices are constrained by their processing power, battery life, and storage. It provides the illusion of infinite computing resources. Mobile computing is a new platform to combine the mobile devices and cloud computing to create new infrastructure where cloud performs this heavy lifting of computing intensive tasks. In our process, the aim is to connect the phones to adjacent powerful cloud to throw their computational burden to the server. To achieve this, we utilize an execution offloading scheme that drift a process between machines during its execution. In our process, we make use of the concept of shortest traveling path between source and destination. For this, we have route table which contains the information of source, destination, possible routes to reach destination, and each route distance value. By choosing source and destination and send to the cloud server, we can share the load to the server. Then the server will receive the details from the mobile device and do the route finding process. Then forward this response to the mobile device, and like this process will continue. Finally, we will calculate the overall response time of each task to compute the execution offloading and the energy consumption and transfer cost. I start with abstract. Mobile cloud computing is a technique widely used to meet the increasing demand for high performance in smartphones. Aim is to connect the phones to adjacent powerful cloud servers so that their computational burden can be shared to other servers. These techniques often employ execution offloading schemes. This technique drifts a process between machines during its execution. In execution offloading, code regions are executed on the server. The execution is decided statically or dynamically based on the complex analysis on execution time and process state transfer cost of every region. Compiler code analysis technique is used to reduce the transfer data size by transferring essential heap objects and the stack frames referenced in the server. The experiments influences transfer time, effectiveness of execution offloading. It improves the performance of mobile cloud computing in terms of execution time and energy consumption. This data flow diagram briefly explains the concept of execution offloading among user and server. To implement this concept, here we take an example of finding route among source and destination. And this, from this, we will compute the shortest route among the source and destination, and computing the distance between the shortest route and the total traveling time to reach from source to destination. Let's we see the demo of this project. Here we have the two process. One is mobile device side process and another one is cloud side process. Initially we have to run the mobile device side process. For that, click on DEO process, right click and debug. Here we have to click on open button, and next here we have to provide the source value and destination value. Here I am choosing this value and click on search button. Here the requested query value is fetched here. By clicking on send button, this will be transferred to the cloud side. For that, we have to run the server side cloud side process. So this is the cloud side process. So before sending this value, click on receive button and click send button in the user side process. The message is transferred to the cloud side. Now the server will choose this received value and click on fetch route button. By clicking on search button, the corresponding route value will be fetched here. By clicking on send button, this value will be transferred to the user side. So click on send button. This value is fetched in the server side text box. Click on send button to send this data, and by clicking on receive button at the user side, this data will be fetched. Here we got the response from this cloud, like possible routes and also the best route. By choosing the desired route and sending this value to the server, we can get the total distance to travel through the route. Here I am providing one value and click send button. By clicking on receive button on the server side, here at the cloud side, the newly sent data from the mobile user is fetched. By clicking on this value and click on fetch distance button, this value will be forwarded to this form, and by clicking on search button, the possible distance, the desired distance with the calculated distance value will be fetched. And by clicking on set button, this value will be transmitted to the mobile user. By clicking on send and send button at the cloud side and clicking on receive button at the mobile user side, the value will be passed. So this value to calculate the traveling time for this route, we have to pass this value to the mobile device. So by clicking on send data to user app, this value will be transmitted here. So here the source and destination value is shown here, and the desired route value is E road, and the distance to travel is 510 kilometer. So to compute the traveling time to go through this via, we have to provide the distance value. And by clicking on any stream like car, bus or train, we can calculate the overall traveling time to reach the destination from the source. So by clicking on compute time, I am choosing the train as a medium, and by clicking on compute time button, the traveling time will be fixed here. And before we go for the next step, we have to click on get elapsed time button at the server side, and get elapsed time button at the mobile user side, and also in the traveling measurement form side. So now the overall elapsed time is saved into the database, and by clicking on performance result button, this form will be transmitted into this new form. By clicking on execution offload time, the overall execution offload time of the migration overhead of client request is 1, and the migration overhead of server response time is 1, and the computation overhead of route selection is here, and the computation overhead of distance finding value is here. Then the computation overhead of time calculation is 1. So by clicking on save button, this overall total offloading time will be saved into the database. Then we have to click on to view the overall execution time in the chart view. We have to click on the view button. This will show the overall execution offloading time in this format. So with this execution procedure is over. Thanks for listening.